What was the good, the bad, and ugly about publishing your book?
Before or after I met you?
Yeah, it could be both.
Okay. So before I met you, it was like I knew what I wanted to write about. I knew the story. I had stuff on my computer. I had been talking to people I knew for over a decade about writing this book, and I was just overwhelmed. It was just too much. Every time that I would go to some, free ebook about publishing your own book, and I'd look at it. I'm also the parent of a severely disabled adult with autism and other stuff. I just couldn't do it. Like I had the material, I knew it was good, but I just couldn't get started. So before it was just an awful wasteland of lies where I told myself I was going to do something. I knew it would benefit. I didn't do it. After I was referred to you by Larry Levine, go Larry, love you, brother. So honored he wrote the foreword to the book. So honored. Anyways, after I was referred to you from Larry, number one, it was a referral. So I was much more comfortable. Like you were, like I knew you'd helped him with his book. I've enjoyed his book. I've recommended his book. Like, so we were able to actually have a real conversation, and you were able to do what was really good, which is give me the confidence that you would be my guide through the entire process. And there's been adversity in both of our lives personally in this period of time since this January. It's we've both been through some tough stuff, hurricane, deaths and families, sicknesses, stuff like that. But because of your system, it, like it's like project management, right? And that's I'm not dumbing it down, but everything's organized. And when I saw how you guys have thought about every single step of it, I was able to relax, and I was able to I have enjoyed writing the book. I have enjoyed this entire process. And most importantly, the only ugly was this process of writing this book for me was very emotionally cathartic, very releasing. So it's some of the unpleasantness has been getting in on some personal development issues, things about my past. At the end, I'm a better person. Like literally working with you, Kim, and your team has helped me to become more of who I've always felt I should be than I've been in 14 years.
Aw, that's so
Yeah.
sweet.
So like all I want to say to you is like if you're listening to this and you want to write a book about your business, you got a story to talk about business, you're a fool if you don't talk to Kim. That's the nicest thing I can say.
Oh, Mike, I love you.
Like I can say more, but maybe you should call me.
So, one of the things we teach in authority marketing is using your book. So, but people think I have to wait till the book's published to use it. But you've already been using your book. So, talk about some of the results that you've gotten before the book was even published.
So I'm actually gonna take it a slightly different way. You ready?
I'm
So
ready.
one of my favorite questions when I'm working with financial planners, like my ideal coaching consulting clients, is like, do you have one yourself? Like, like, do you have a financial plan? Right? And they're like, most of the time, no. And I don't ask them why, because I know why, because they're overwhelmed. And I said, how do you answer it when clients ask you if you have one? They're like, ooh. I'm like, that like, wouldn't you want to have a better answer? I said, what will happen after you even start working on your financial plan? They're like, I'll talk about it. And so for me, this I don't think this happens as much if you're just doing it on your own, which is fine. I guess you could do that. It's makes no sense to me, right? I'd rather hire a guide and know when it's going to get done. But the second we started the process, Kim, I knew the book was going to be published. And I started talking to all my clients about the book, right? I
Yes.
started interacting with other people about it. But here's the other thing. Say you're maybe a 50-plus-year-old business professional that's wanted to really write a book. Certainly, I hope you're younger. But if you're somebody similar to me, And you've got all of these things you do. You've got these systems, these processes, the way you help people. The second we started writing it all out, I was able to evaluate how I help my clients at a very profound way. And I brought on my biggest client to date, simply because as a result of that external look, being able to step back and look at my processes, I improved how I communicated. Yeah. And the other thing, this is how it's going to benefit you during the process. Like, you're crazy if you don't hire Kim and have everything taken care of. And let me tell you what's going to happen. Like, if you are a good business professional, you're going to start thinking about, well, what do I do now that I know the book will be done? How am I going to use it? How am I going to leverage it? Who am I going to, like, you're going to move from hope to strategy, just like with referrals after you read, Can I Borrow Your Car? You move from hope to strategy implementation. Gratuitous plug.
Get it on Amazon.
Yep, right.
So, what would you say to that person who's listening to this right now and they're in a similar situation to you? They know they need to write their book. What would you say to them?
So, at the risk of giving away the farm on future stuff I'm going to be doing, I updated my my little LinkedIn blurb to guides make life better. And so if you're writing a book to help other people, why would you not work with a guide to help you write the book? And I just want you to think about that. You're going to pay Kim not very much money. Like, I think it's well priced, you know, but when you really think about what could happen if you listen to a tenth of what she talks about on this podcast and in her book, like, the money's not the object. So the reality is this: what would I do if I was in that position? If you live in Nova Scotia, I would go have coffee with her, right? Because, like, that, I've never met you in person. When I do, big hug. I know your back's bad, so I'm going to be restrained. I promise. I'm a hugger, and it's going to be intense, but you'll be all right. But I would encourage you to call her, look her up on LinkedIn, and talk to her, because here's the problem: you're not going to understand what Kim and her team brings to you unless you talk to them. I promise you that you will enjoy speaking to Kim, that it will be a safe place, that'll be respectful. She is a professional, and if she thinks that you've got a real book that can be beneficial, she is going to ask you to do business, because after all, like, she makes money when you make money.
True.
Yep. You know, and so that like, just make the call. And then the other thing is this, and this is like, it's not buyer's remorse when you work with somebody like Kim, but you're going to be attacked. You're going to be attacked mentally and spiritually by other people and other things that tell you you're not worth it. And that is a lie. It's simply a lie. Your story, whoever you are, wherever you are, your story is worth telling.
Yes, I agree. I
Yeah.
so agree.